on heels, but it never does. That's cause you at war with love. You at war with love.
These battle scars don't look like they're fading. Don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battle.
Welcome to the Sundry Webcast. I'm Brandon Anderson. Thanks for joining me once again today. Last night, the Celtics took on the Knicks, and the Knicks did whatever they wanted. Carmelo Anthony, 34 points, 4 rebounds, and chipped in with 1 assist. For Boston, Paul Pierce, 18 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. The Knicks really were able to take advantage of what looked like a really tired Celtics basketball team. The first half and the second half really told two different stories. The first half was one of defense on behalf of the Celtics part and really kind of surrounding the basketball, really good ball movement. In the first quarter, the Knicks led by 6, 26-20 in the second. In the second quarter, the Celtics outscored the Knicks 28-16. So clearly there was something going on there with the Celtics offense that they were able to expose on the Knicks defense. And it really worked out for them. It looked good. Besides, at the end of the half, a couple, obviously JR Smith or JR Swish, whatever you want to call it, he went off, absolutely went off. It was able to give the Knicks a little spark going in at halftime. And I don't know what you want to call it, whether it's, the Celtics being tired or if it's Mike Woodson going in at halftime and making some big-time adjustments. But it's really been a tale of two different halves these first two games of the series, and you really see the Knicks being able to make an adjustment in the second half, and their defense really steps it up, only allowing 11 points in the third quarter to the Celtics and scoring 32. One big thing that you definitely see from the Knicks is their bench and JR Swish coming off the bench and being able to spark the Knicks big time. And not only has their bench been able to come off and give them a big spark offensively, but defensively as well. You see K.Martin in there and his energy. If you watch the Knicks play throughout the season, their second line, obviously not as explosive, but they've had J.R. Smith the whole time, and I think K.Martin has been such a big asset to that second line and that defense, and being able to really hold down the middle of the court. Neither team has a big man. There's no centers dominating this series, and it's going to be a wing dominated series. You're going to see obviously Melo, J.R. Smith, and Paul Pierce and Jeff Green. Paul Pierce, there's only so much he can do at his age, and the same thing with Kevin Garnett. That 20-footer, it works, sometimes, but it's not always going to be there. And who's going to step up for the Celtics now to give this offense and to give this defense some life? For 2 quarters, you see I don't know if it's a championship quality team, because they even did it against the Heat as well, but you see a team that is fierce defense, fast, flying, getting all the extra balls, all the extra tips, and then in the second half you kind of see a slower game. They almost look, dare I say, old. The Celtics are the Knicks are playing a little bit faster of a game in the second half, and it's really, I don't know if it's because the Celtics haven't been home in 2 weeks because of the events with the marathon, but it's really been tough for them to get it going in the second half. 11 points in the third quarter, 12 in the fourth quarter. Both of those numbers are numbers that Pierce should be having by himself in each of those quarters. So where's the bench? The Celtics bench outscored again, almost single-handedly by J.R. Smith, who was able to put up another 19 points. So very impressive performance behalf of the Knicks defensively, offensively. But one thing you do have to call into question here is that these games they seem like they are a lot closer than they should be for a team in Boston who is old, and for a team in the Knicks who does have a lot of scores. Boston looks sluggish. I don't know if them going home will make a big difference or a big impact on the series. Hopefully they could get some energy from the hometown. I'm a Boston homer, so I would like to see the series be made interesting, but the Celtics bench is going to have to show up big time. They really need to chip in and do their part. And Jeff Green, where is Jeff Green? You really see two different players with this guy. Sometimes he comes in and looks like he could be a top 10, 15 player in the league, and then some nights he completely disappears. And the Celtics traded him expecting him to be a star, and I was really high on Jeff Green, and I've stuck and stood up for him. But this is the time where a regular player separates himself, or a player can really make a name for himself. So look for Jeff Green to do something at home. And again, it's been 2 weeks since the Celtics have been home and got a chance to really be comfortable and be with their families. So if they can step it up here when they come back to Boston, and the crowd can give them some extra life, I think that we could see this series go 6 games. It was my guess the Celtics would win in 7. I think I'm gonna stick with that until I see the Knicks be able to take what they've done at home and apply it on the road. This tough defense and really consistent performance that we're seeing on both sides of the court. It's really impressive, and it's good basketball. It's fun to watch. One thing that you also notice is during the regular season, these teams are putting up 120, 110, 100 points a night, and these games have been very low scoring. Definitely shows you the defense, and so each possession is definitely is key, and it's important, and you don't want to throw away any possessions. So efficiency is big in these series, and that's one thing that Melo was able to do last night. I think that helped the Knicks out big time. 34 quiet points. It was as if he didn't have to take 24 shots to accumulate the point total, which we're used to seeing from him. Very efficient, something that we see from LeBron game in and game out. So very cool, great job. And Stoudemire might be able to return if the Knicks are able to win this series. He could return possibly for the second series. Stoudemire, the Knicks could definitely use him on the second line for sure. Add another defensive presence and high percentage score. He shot 57% in the 29 games he played this season. Averaged 14 points and 5 rebounds, 23 minutes a game. So if he could give him 15 quality minutes, the Knicks are looking to improve, definitely moving on throughout the playoffs. Also last night, the Miami Heat took on the Milwaukee Bucks. I saw a little bit of this game. Obviously, Miami is on another level, but for Milwaukee, Miami was able to top them 98-86. It wasn't even as close as that score looked, but I wouldn't say Milwaukee is a bad team. They might sneak a game out of this series. They didn't shoot horribly. They shot 50%. They didn't shoot well from the three-point line, 22%, and they only made 58% of their free throws. They're called free throws, okay? You have a free opportunity to throw the basket through the hoop. So if you're only making those 58% of the time, you're going to have a tough time winning. The Heat shot 84% from the free throw line, 31% from 3, and 45% from the field. So once Miami's up there around 30%, 35% from three-point line, you're going to have a hard time keeping up with them regardless of who you have on offense. For Milwaukee, Dunleavy chipped in 16 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Really good ball player. I think he really helps Milwaukee have a chance not only in the regular season but in the postseason. Son of a coach, so see some leadership over there. Milwaukee does have some good pieces with Jennings as well. Fun to watch, but Miami's just too much. And Chris Anderson chipped in with 10 points, and Shane Battier had 10 points as well for the Heat. Dwayne Wade was their leading scorer, 21 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. Also had 2 steals. LeBron chipped in 19 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. Just a very efficient night for the King. And if you haven't seen it yet, very hilarious video, Stop Disrespecting by Stephen A. Smith, talking about King James and everybody disrespecting and hating on him is hilarious. Have you ever a chance to check it out? Go ahead. Also last night, Golden State Warriors and the Nuggets, a series that I thought could go either way. I did pick Denver to win it, but Golden State, Steph Curry with a big night, taking it 131-117 in Denver. Golden State, Steph Curry, 30 points, 5 rebounds, 13 assists, almost had a triple-double, 3 steals as well. For Denver, Ty Lawson, 19 points. He is a baller. 19 points, 1 rebound, 12 assists, 1 steal. Very good series, exciting. Surprised how many points they're scoring, and not surprised, but definitely, yeah, I'm a little surprised. 131 points. they are just running up and down the court. That's a fast series, exciting to watch. A lot of young players. Iguodala for Denver, Golden State. They did lose David Lee, their big man, but obviously they're able to fill in and people are stepping it up. So looking forward to checking out a couple more of those games. OKC takes on the Rockets tonight. Lakers take on the Spurs. That'll be fun to watch as well. A lot of action, NBA playoffs heating up. So tomorrow night we have the NFL draft. Very exciting time of the year, and I do want to talk a little bit about the Jets and this trade that they made for with the Buccaneers for Darrelle Revis. Got him a couple draft picks, and there are some people that are suggesting that the Jets are gonna go ahead and maybe pick D. Milner, cornerback out of Alabama, to replace Darrelle Revis. Now, I did have some questions about Darrelle Revis, obviously coming off an ACL surgery, and a lot of players who had the surgery don't come back the same. But D. Milner has had 5 surgeries. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 surgeries. Okay, you're talking about one. And Darrelle Revis, a proven player, a proven top player in the entire NFL. You're talking 1 surgery, and you're talking 5 surgeries for a kid coming out of college. I know that guys in the NFL and in sports these days, surgery is like no big deal. Guys just like, oh, I had surgery last week, I'm good though, and they just come out and they play. I understand that, and obviously the medical advancements and technology we've made, the guys are able to do that. But 5 surgeries, 5 times the doctor had to go into his body, cut it open, and make some kind of adjustment. And this is a guy who is projected to go in the first round, and a guy the Jets are talking about replacing Darrelle Revis with. You have a right knee scope, sports hernia, right tibia stress fracture, and surgeries in both shoulders. So that'll be interesting how that plays out. Can't say that I would want to, or I would be comfortable with personally selecting a guy like that in the first round who's had 5 surgeries after, in replace of a guy who's been a proven player in the NFL. But, the Jets are the Jets. We'll see what they do. Or they might draft a wide receiver. Well, first of all, you have to have a quarterback to throw to him, so we'll see what happens there. Something else that I thought was interesting, no guarantee money for Darrelle Revis from the Bucks, obviously. But they traded draft picks for him. If they give away picks that high, you think they would plan on keeping them for a little bit. But who knows, because the Bucks aren't even a guaranteed team. Same thing with the Jaguars. These teams have been talking to LA, and so how could they have guaranteed money for them if they can't even have they can't even guarantee a television game with all the blackouts they've had over the past couple of years. So have fun down there, Darrelle, and good luck to you. NFL draft coming up tomorrow. Hopefully we could bring you a nice little draft special. I don't know much about a lot of these players that are coming out, but who loves the draft? Everybody loves the draft. It'll be interesting. It'll be fun. Everyone dressed up in New York having a good time, so I'll check it out. That's all I have for you today. Sundry Webcast, we're out of time. Hopefully I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining.